Good afternoon, faithful. Good evening. Hello, it's Friday. What's happening, N.W.A. podcast? I know it's been a minute since we have come alive, but we are here having some fun. We're going to talk some 49er football. It is the off season. I am accompanied by my co-host, E-Man. E-Man, it's finally good to see you on camera, brother. How you doing?
I'm good.
Can't hear you.
Just another Friday, man. You can't hear me?
No,
Check,
what's
check.
up, Tom? How you doing, Tom? Can hear your dog. Very good. Say something.
What about now?
You sound, but you're really low. Should have never moved your mic. What's up, Tom? How you doing, brother? He says, finally, my beloved podcast is back. Yes, sir. And we should get in one of the other guys tuning in soon. Let's test. Can we see? How do you
All right.
sound?
Testing?
Yeah, there you go. Much better.
Okay, good. Sorry, the dogs were barking, so I kind of tried to mute it. I didn't want y'all to be deaf or anything like that.
No worries. What's up,
everything's
Raphael?
good, man.
Welcome to the show, Raphael. So it's finally good to see you on camera, bro. How you been? What's life been treating you? How you been dealing with the off season?
Man, honestly, I'm just ready for tax season to be over with. But
Oh, I can
as
imagine
far
that.
as the off season, a lot of people expected us to be splashy and whatnot, but any team that is coming off of being in the NFC Championship, you're just wanting to retain and be. I mean, yeah, obviously you want to be better than what you were last year. You want to get to the Super Bowl and you want to win, but you want to you want to keep the pieces you have or improve on the pieces that you have by not overspending for players that just have a name or for example, like Von Miller was a household name back in the day. Now he's a outer shell. He's still a good player, but no way that he's worth overpaying to
Well,
bring
he
in.
is 120 million, brother. 6 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of people, say we should do this, we should do that. And kind of the only thing that I'm kind of wondering going forward is with the loss of Lakeland Tomlinson, what we do on the offensive line. That left guard position, yeah, we drafted a young kid, but we obviously haven't been able to see what Banks is capable of doing.
Well, not
I
at
think
a
he was hurt
professional
last year.
level, but he's definitely
Exactly,
shown he
yeah.
can do it in college.
And then as far as most of our secondary, they were on 1-year deals. So seeing we did go out and make a signing for Travaris Ward from the Kansas City Chiefs. We brought back Dante Johnson. Uh, some pieces that were essential and just special teams. We upgraded our special teams. Some area that was very weak for years, honestly. So it's good to see. It's good to see what we're doing so far in the off season.
Yeah, that most definitely. Kind of like what Tom said. He said it in a nutshell. We don't need to be splashy, just improve in some areas. I always believe that you develop through the draft and you supplement through free agency. And Niners have made big splashes in free agency in this regime. People forget the D Ford. They may not like how D Ford played out and how he got hurt, and it's been more bad than good. But it was a trade, and it was a splash. 82 million, 5 years, and then we just, even though he was already in our team, but the fact that we brought back, can't think of his name, left guard. Help me out here. Williams, Big Trent Williams. We signed him for 6.
That was also a big trade.
Yeah, 6 years signing, and so you look at this, and then this year we brought in Ward, which to me, I think that was the biggest ticket that we're going to spend, but that was a need that we had. And they're also not bringing in big names, but they're bringing in two all pros and a pro bowler in special teams. And I think even the kid from the Colts can contribute as a safety for us if Tart doesn't come back. And he's also a key in special teams. So you're right. Our special teams went from being 30th in the NFL to possibly being in the top 10 this year with the additions of these players. We lost big DJ Jones, Streets, but we brought in that one kid from Philly to kind of stuff the middle. We brought back a hider, which I think that was a great signing, especially if Arden Key doesn't sign with us. I think those two players are similar. They're just kind of not starters, but they're your rotational type of players. They can be there and rotate. And Kerry Hyder has had his best career under Chris Casseret. So I expect that to continue on.
Yeah, and having the help on the line will also help some of these. Not saying that he's some of these weaker players, as far as these rotational pieces, be able to generate pressure because they're going to have help. So, uh, big and interesting. This is going to be, I think, a key play in this decision. Also lies with Javon Kinlaw, our first round pick that just underwent surgery. Him being able to step up and step into that role, and also how we've utilized Eric Armstead. So definitely think that some great things are going to be headed for us. And like not to jump too much around, but as far as like the corner signing, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, we should have got Stephon Gilmore." This Travis Ward is a young prospect. The only other prospect that I would have considered would have been J.C. Jackson, which the number, if you look at the numbers on the contract, it was just a little bit more. But for what they both do, I think we made the right decision and in that call. So it will change what we do as far as our secondary group goes. So just have to see who we decide to stick in nickel situations, and then some of these other players like Dante Johnson, Denard that we re-signed. Those are just fill in players. I honestly think that gonna we may draft another. I'm hoping that we draft another corner this draft, and even a safety as well. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think we will draft another safety. Um, I don't know what's happening with Tart and what's going to happen there, but I think they'll target a safety, probably another corner in that. And you mentioned earlier about Aaron Banks. You know,
Yeah,
they tried to experiment with him at the right guard position because we had Lincoln, but I think the process was always to replace Lincoln Tomlinson at left guard when they drafted this kid. They just wanted to see if they can utilize him at right guard, and it failed. It didn't work. He didn't plan out, so that's why they kept him kind of just they're learning on the side. And people are like, why do you draft a second rounder and then keep him on the bench? Well, the whole thought process, was to replace Lincoln if Lincoln would leave in free agency, which he did. Now, in the professional level, we're going to have to find out. We're going to find out how he does. But I don't think Lincoln, even though Lincoln played very well for us and he will be missed, he's not like this all pro type of guard, and I don't see it'll be hard for um, Aaron Banks to replace him. But we have to wait and see. And on defense, we brought in on defense we brought in Ward, which I like. Ward is fun. A person, a corner that we needed, someone that doesn't get separation, someone that, and he's a tall corner that he can kind of go with the DK Metcalf and the bigger players. So he's impressive. Now we have to wait and see how he does. But I think that was our biggest ticket. I think everybody else are just more fill-ins, and I don't think the Niners. People say, well, if Jimmy wasn't on the roster, the Niners would be bringing more free agents. Hype. I don't think so. I think that if Jimmy was even off the books, the Niners would have kept that money in the books, and they still would have done what they did so far. They're not a big splashy team. People just want everybody to come. They want the Julio Jones. They want the all these big names, but that's not the way the Niners work. So I'm going to give it to you for a minute, Eric. I have Mr. Boston Hater in the wings. I'm going to bring him in. So take it, brother.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to be back. What's going on, Corey and David and Tom and Raphael? What's going on, guys? Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Just wanted to give y'all some kudos there. As far as another possibility that I did say, was Alex Mack. We signed him last offseason at center. I see that we did retain Jake Brendel. That was one of the players that could possibly take the wings once Mack is gone. I do think that offensive line will be another, just the uncertainty with the left guard position. I did like the way that Brunskill stepped up and played this year with right guard. And especially since McGlinchey went down for the season, that was huge. So to have him back, that's going to be great.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
what's
sir.
up, Nate?
What's up, Nate? Welcome to the chat. Can't hear you.
Can't hear you. You got to turn it on.
Unless you want to do sign language.
Try to eat it. Maybe that might.
You sat
help.
there all this time waiting, and then we bring you in, and you don't have it ready. This dude.
Anybody can understand sign language? Maybe he can
Still
sign.
can't hear you.
He can be our sign translator.
We can see those big old lips moving, but yeah. Welcome to the blah, 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 blah.
A waka waka waka.
Yep.
Let's
see it. Make sure
I
it's
know.
not. No, it's not on my side. So.
No, I can't hear you either.
You can't hear. Bye bye.
He's gonna. Bye.
Yep. He sat there for 15 minutes, bro. No, just kidding. That long, and then he wasn't prepared. But
I would say
bro.
this year and next year.
Yeah, so I'm excited what the Niners are doing, bro. They're doing it little by little. They're people keep forgetting that we were in the NFC Championship just a few months ago. What's up, Boston Hater? Can you hear us?
I think I hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, me neither.
We just seen you flapping away, but now we can hear you.
Sorry.
Cool. So welcome to the show, brother.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Good
to
I
be
was
back.
expecting him to put me on blast.
And we were just talking about the All-Star, All-Pro Kerry Hyder coming back to the Niner. No, just kidding.
Yeah. No one cares about that.
Nobody cares. He cares. His mama cares.
That's good for them.
He's loved.
They didn't have to move far, just from Seattle back down to.
Yeah, I like it. He got paid a little bit. Got 8.5 sacks with us 2020 when he made his money with the Seahawks and coming back for 1.5.
Yeah, actually, not even that 1.5 is kind of a misnomer. He's
Correct.
got
It's
750K,
yeah,
and
and then
then
the rest in
other
incentives.
750 is like sack incentives. So let's see if all those nonsense sacks that he got back in 2020, because they were all like way late in the it wasn't any early pressure kind of stuff. So
No, I hear
yeah,
you.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not going to be
And
your starting.
that's why that number went from 8.5 to 1.5.
yeah.
And played way more snaps than he played in 2020. So it just that's not his thing.
No, he's more of a
Um,
rotational
yeah,
defensive end.
yeah, he's not really a pass rusher.
No,
Uh,
well, he normally plays in the inside. They had to play him on the outside in 2020 because everybody that we had on the outside went down to injuries.
yeah,
So he was moved to the outside. So maybe he comes back to the inside now that we have Ikebom
he's
or
not he's not a pass rusher from anywhere. It doesn't matter.
well, eight and
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I'll take some
yeah.
fluid if he can get 8 sacks. I'll take it.
He's not gonna do that. He might get 8 sacks in the next 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, he's not gonna do that. Come on. Yeah.
So what about the run stuff and ability? Now that DJ's gone,
That's
any?
not a problem. You actually replaced that. Uh, you got Kinlaw coming back,
Oh, you're
which
talking the kid
definitely
from the
trumps.
Eagles.
Yeah, that's more to replace Contavious Street.
Yeah, yeah.
Kinlaw is the one that's really supposed to replace Jones. So it wasn't really that big of a loss, even though people want to think of it as, oh, Jones. No, he was gonna be pushed back in the rotation anyway.
Oh
So
yeah,
he was
he would have been back. He would have been coming in for Kinlaw. No, and I don't know if you guys watched this video with Brad from SF 49er show. He came on his show. Kinlaw came on his show and talked about his process of everything that he's going through. And he said this is his words from his mouth that his knee, he felt liquid in his knee. They were draining it. He was trying to play through it. He tried to do his best, but it was nagging him. Now with this operation, he feels like he has a whole new leg. It's completely gone. He can do things. He can bend ways that he couldn't do before. And he's like, people are going to hate on me if they want to hate. But I know what I can do, and I know what I'm capable of doing. And I'm going to show a lot of people that they drafted the right guy. It's hard. He goes, it's hard to play through injury when it's nagging you and try to be at your A game and to be an old pro. People don't realize that. You struggle. You're out and you're trying to play and you struggle, and people expect you to be an old pro. It's not easy because half of the people that don't like me never played football or don't understand football. He goes, now that I'm not injured and I feel good, you're going to see the real Kinlaw. And I like that attitude from him.
okay. I hear you talking. Let's see that.
Yep.
Definitely.
Now back it up
Exactly.
with words. Yeah. I mean, back it up with action.
Oh, I love hearing it. Run it, but hey, bring it.
And let's be honest, as much as people like DJ Jones, myself included, I have his jersey, liked him a lot.
It's got nothing on Kinlaw.
He doesn't have nothing on Kinlaw, absolutely not. And so it's not like we lost Kinlaw and replacing him with DJ. We lost DJ and replacing him with Kinlaw, and a healthy one. And then we have rotations to go in there as well. So defensively, we brought back Willis. We brought back for rotational purposes, but we brought back Hyder to kind of relieve these guys. We should be okay in our front. And then I think we're going to draft a defensive end, if I'm not mistaken.
We have 10 defensive linemen. We've actually got an 11th, but we got 10 that could actually play.
Yep.
I don't need no more.
Yeah, yeah. There's no. I mean, it always sucks when you lose a player, but the Niners are always set up for those players. They have to. They're going to go to replace them. So we're not hurting there. And then the area that we kind of were hurting a little bit, which is the secondary. The Niners decided to go ahead and bring in a corner to help out that secondary.
Really, where we were hurting?
Offensive line, but we're talking defensively.
No, it's either of those really where we were hurting.
It wasn't linebacker, so
Okay.
if it wasn't the
This
front
way.
seven,
We lost 3 games this year for one reason. What was that reason?
are you talking about special teams?
There you go. That was where we were really hurting.
Well,
And the fact of the matter
evidently,
is, they have, first of all, replaced the coach,
yeah,
got three high-end special teams players that they drafted and actually paid a premium when you think about the price for special teams players. Uh, and I think that that's gonna really make a big difference. And people aren't really focusing on that. They're kind of just looking at the splash stuff. You got your corner, uh, and that's all that they're really paying attention to. He was
Yeah.
one of the top 3 when you looked at the ones that were high on the pecking order for you know desirable free agents. We got one of the 3, and ain't nothing wrong with it. I think we're going in the right direction. You might not be as good on the offensive line, but you're not bad. You might not be. You might be better on the defensive line if you keep the starters healthy.
yeah,
Yeah, it'd actually be better. But
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
That special teams was a concern. You're right. We lost close games that we would have won easily if it wasn't for special teams. And they address. I was
And
talking
it's
that earlier with Email how they addressed that with 2 All Pros and a Pro Bowler. Can't go wrong.
hmm
and it's crazy. It's crazy that we won a game with special teams in the playoffs. Only
Well, it's
because their
just
special
they're
teams was worse than
worse. Yeah,
ours.
yeah. But you know what?
somebody
On the
has
flip
it. Somebody has to be worse than ours.
on the flip side, didn't we lose to them? And it had a lot to do with the special teams when we lost to them earlier in the year.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's kind of payback's a
Uh,
nice. It's a little nice pet. Let me
yeah,
ask Boston Hater, and I'll ask Eric. David McNew says, "What do you guys think of our new special teams coach?" I'm not too familiar with him, so I don't want to give him input. But are you guys familiar with him?
I mean, here's the bottom line: you can't do no worse.
Wow, the bar wasn't that high with Hightower.
Let's put it this way. I mean, come on. He was there 5 years. Our special teams,
Yeah, good
maybe
point.
we'll
Good
have some.
point.
We'll be fine with kicker.
No
Usually,
shit.
our kickers are pretty good, but the only thing we've had that was even decent on special teams outside of the guys kicking the ball were the damn gunners. When
Y-
Raheem Mostert and Tavarius Moore were the gunners, that worked out okay. But the rest of that unit was a joke for 5 years, and it only got worse with time. So,
well,
yeah,
we're getting more back. Just don't
mhm.
know which. So that'll help.
That'll
Yeah,
I
definitely help.
disagree, Tom.
but
Disagree.
that's a good point. You can only get better from where we
Have
were at.
a kicker.
We need to draft it.
Negative.
Really?
No,
I think
you
we
really
learned our
don't.
mistake from drafting a punter with the 4th pick or the 4th round.
That's not a mistake.
Uh,
That's
that
a
was a need.
draft pick, and we'll see what he turns into. What is he? Second year now?
No, he's been
He's
with
going into
us
his 3rd year. He's
third.
going
Yeah,
into his
third or
Third.
fourth. Yeah,
yeah. He's
This
going
is
into
gonna be
his
his
3rd.
third.
Yeah. So
He was
yeah,
solid.
let's see.
He wasn't too bad.
No, he had some moments, but the thing was, when the special teams are so bad and you're giving up all this, it's like when he does launch off a great kick. I'm watching this 58-yard punt that stays in the air for 4.5 seconds, and then there's a 27-yard return.
yeah. I know where you're going exactly with that.
Like, really?
Yep.
All that for nothing. It's like
Yeah.
when he hits the bomb, what do? Give it all back.
If we
Yep.
didn't, if we didn't draft him, then I would have definitely loved to have Hecker from the Rams. That would have been great.
No.
Not in his contract.
Yeah,
Not for that
man, they
money,
cut him.
no. But
They cut him because of what he did, and all he did was get more.
Yeah.
yeah,
Under all that money.
You can be a
give a
great
damn.
punter still. You don't want to allocate that much money on a punter. But But
Speaking of money, they're just throwing money around the NFL.
this has been the
Uh,
craziest
I'm
offseason
glad you're
ever.
clean, Tom. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, first of all, you got a guy that's potentially. Did you see the way they did that whole thing with Deshaun Watson? First of all, they gave away uh, a ton of draft picks for him, and then they backed up a Brinks truck for him.
Yeah,
But did you happen to see the way that they structured that contract?
crazy.
They put it where his base salary is like crumbs the first year, so that when he does get suspended,
Yep.
it
Yep.
doesn't cost him anything.
Yep.
So, oh man,
Which was smart because you think you know there is a possibility he will be suspended for at least maybe 6 games, possibility if not more. About 4.
I think so.
Uh,
Yeah, but here's the thing: you got to come up with something. There's nothing concrete yet. So at this point, I don't see where he should be suspended at all. Come up with something. That's
yeah,
why
but
they threw out the criminal thing right away.
but remember,
Yeah.
and I understand our feelings about Big Ben, but with that aside, he was found not guilty, and even then they still suspended him for 6 games, right? So it's a
But
possibility.
Ben Roethlisberger had these allegations in high school, college, and the
Oh,
NFL.
I agree.
Something just, something ain't right about that. It's too much.
Yeah. But the
So,
point being is, even
Yeah,
though
I
he
mean,
was
you don't-
cleared, he was still suspended. So there's a possibility that even though Watson was cleared, that he could get suspended by the league.
Yeah.
He didn't see all this turmoil happen until he said he wanted out of Houston.
Mm-hmm. It was quite odd.
Yeah, it's fishy.
The
bro.
timing of
Timing
it was
is
just
fine.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if. Yeah, it was. I think it was the front office trying to just hating on a player, bro. But that's all speculation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nothing's
you know.
concrete. But you can kind of read it within the lines. Since David says he was with the Sea Chickens, but took last season off. Oh, you're talking about the coordinator. Yeah, the. But
Yes.
to the point that Boston Hater made, you could have got anybody there that couldn't be any worse than Hightower. And then you add the players that we added this offseason to it, it's only going to get better. So I can see us going from 30th last year to possibly a top 10 this year.
Sure.
And that and the whole field position is always something great, especially for a young quarterback like Trey. It's better to start him at our 40, our own 35-yard line than our own 10 or 5-yard line.
It's not just that. It's like this. We're starting inside of our 20, and the other team's starting around their 40. So it's going to
That's
be
never
better for the
good.
defense as well. So, there was a lot of times that our defense held when these teams are getting the ball,
Yeah, true.
plus territory, and we end up giving up a field goal because darn, once you get the ball at the 40-yard line, you get 2 first downs, you got a field goal attempt.
Yeah, look at the Indy game, the game when we played Indianapolis. Golly, like our secondary was just holding like crazy in that game.
Who cares, Tom?
No one was talking about that. What are you talking about?
Who cares if the Dolphins proved? Long as our team got better.
The offense from scoring touchdowns is what we were referring to.
Well,
I don't know what you're
we were
talking
trying to hold them from scoring touchdowns, but we held them and let them score touchdowns. I'm just talking nonsense.
Just know that
I'm
Josh
just
Norman's not going to be
Take
there.
another
anymore.
sip.
Josh Norman's not going to be there grabbing anybody. So
Okay. I'm looking at this in the comments, and I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and answer a question with. Well, I'm not even gonna answer a question. I'm just gonna ask, what in the world did the Dolphins do that would make them so much better than they were last year? Please.
they might have got faster, but it doesn't necessarily mean better.
No, what did they do?
They got
They
one
gave
player and
They
gave
gave
up
up half the draft picks that they
mortgage of
have
draft
for,
picks.
You
for a
still have
wide
the same
receiver.
quarterback, don't they?
$30 million a year? Oh my God.
What were we discussing last time, Nate? That no matter who you bring in as a receiver, if you still have a bad quarterback throwing, I mean, this guy's going from Patrick Mahomes to.
They already have a very good young wide receiver. And so now.
Waddle. Yeah.
Yeah. Spent a ton of money
I
on a
like.
guy that's, first of all, not a good locker room guy.
No, I heard. Yeah.
He's good on the field. I mean, outside of football, he's got his own little issues that there's always some little crap coming up. You know, it's like, this is what you basically broke the bank for. And yeah, no.
And then you give all that draft capital.
In answer to that question, absolutely not the Dolphins. The easiest and most obvious changes, there's two teams, and I can't really decide between the two.
And they're both in the West, AFC.
Or is it Denver? It's one of the two.
Denver, and who was the other team?
I think that's Vegas.
Cleveland or Denver?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Raiders.
Raiders? What are Raiders?
Going to be the team out.
The Raiders were a good team. They got three good receivers and a good quarterback.
Let's put it this way.
And a tight end.
Who improved most was the question.
Oh, who improved most? Well, that's obviously the
Raiders.
Broncos.
Or the Browns. Which one?
Well, it depends on
the Browns with the quarterback, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of risk in that trade.
If it plans out and they get a couple Super Bowls, no. But
no,
I think the most improved team is going to be the Denver Broncos.
We'll have to wait and see on that one.
I don't know. Well, yeah, there's
you go from. Well, all you have to do is watch Drew Lock play for the Seahawks this year, and then watch Russell Wilson play for Denver.
I don't think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC West anymore, though. I'll tell you that much.
Their defense was trending down,
and they're going to be worse next year.
Yeah.
So,
Broncos coming up, Raiders are coming up. Perfect timing. Chargers got better. Perfect timing. The Chargers, though, I don't know. The Chargers they self-destruct. They're kind of like the Cardinals. They play good and then they self-destruct towards the end.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and wait.
You gotta like what they did on the defensive side of the ball as far as their free agency.
Chargers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys. I know I know this is not 49er related, but who is the better team defensively? The two pairs, the two ends, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Chiefs, or the what's the other team?
Broncos?
The Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, or Chiefs. Yeah, you know those four teams.
I don't know. I mean,
scariest.
If you want to go glamour, then it's the Chargers. But I don't know that Khalil Mack is the Khalil Mack that
when he left the Raiders.
Yeah,
he's definitely not that guy anymore. But is he even the guy from a couple of years ago with Chicago is the question. So if he is, then yeah, that's the best one.
With Joey Bosa.
Yeah, I don't know if he's that guy. Let's see.
Yeah, I like what the Raiders did because the Raiders, they have that kid over there, Cosby, is a really good defensive end, and then they added Chandler Jones. They can go out there, on the side. I think I like that tandem too.
That's probably the best one as far as what you saw last year. They're probably the best pair. But the rest of their defense is, it's all or nothing right there.
Yeah,
Agreed. So back to the Niners, man. A lot of people, a lot of Niner fans that for whatever reason they have their reasons that we didn't do no splash free agents. And if anybody follows John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, they build through the draft and they supplement pieces here and there through free agency, right?
But we actually did.
No,
You
no,
know,
no.
yeah,
We did.
one, yeah. We don't use. I mean, most teams don't get a multitude of them. That's not really the way it works. I mean, you got the corner, and the rest of those guys are primarily special teams. I don't know what they wanted. I mean, you upgrade the special teams, which was the biggest problem on that team. And then you address what's probably the next weakest link, which is defensive back. And what did you want them to do? Do you want them to just go out and spend random money? Oh, let's get this guy because I like his name. Let's get this guy because he's got a tradition of being an all pro, even though he's 31 years old and he doesn't play D back like
Yeah.
he did 4 years ago. I think you can figure out who that is if you know football.
Yep.
Um,
Gilmore.
yeah. So why would you get him over the guy you got?
Yep.
The guy you got's better.
Absolutely. The other one that just he's better known when he was younger, but he's not that player anymore. And this kid is just becoming his own, and he can do that with us.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
He
right.
actually, yeah, yeah. He's actually in a better place for what he brings. He's
Yes,
on a better team.
I 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, people are just they want these big names, and I don't understand why. And one of the biggest things that I've been hearing is, if Jimmy G was not on this team and that money was available, I'm like, I don't care that if Jimmy wasn't on the team and the money was there. If
Um,
in my opinion, if they want to bring someone out there that they feel fit, they'll do it even with Jimmy on the roster. They won't hold
sure.
back. The reason why they haven't brought anybody because they don't need to bring someone just because we want them. And when I say
They
we,
did.
I'm talking about Niner fans.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean that we can't
they did.
afford to get them.
They did what they were going to do, and they improved their team. Right. It wasn't about. It wasn't about all that nonsense that people want to talk about. It's of no relevance. They just see names out there and their eyes get wide, their heart starts fluttering and getting excited. It's not
Yep.
what they were going to do in the first place. They did what they were going to do.
The Niners have a
Now,
plan.
they had, you know, a group of guys that they were interested in at corner. And JC Jackson probably was their first choice. I don't know this as a fact, but probably was. He was most people's first choice. So the fact that they didn't get him, okay. Well, you got the next guy in line, which is not a bad choice. I mean, you upgraded,
Definitely.
and that's what it's about. Uh,
Yeah.
Jimmy, there's the talk about Jimmy too. Um, I don't think that the Jimmy thing is an issue at all. Um, it's not that I don't think that it's going to be a problem getting rid of him. I just think that because of the way things took place, he was they were not able to run him out of town quickly. But I knew as soon as they made that shift and they restructured Kittle, Ford, and
Uh, um,
Warner
no, no,
and Warner.
was it
Warner.
Warner? I thought it was what's his name? 91.
I thought Jim.
Eric Armstead.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think it was Warner. I think
Yeah,
it was
they did
Armstead.
restructure Armstead.
It was Armstead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and it was those three: Armstead, Kittle, and Ford.
Jimmy Ward.
Ford. No, no,
They
Jimmy
did
hasn't got
Jimmy
touched.
Ward.
Jimmy hasn't got touched yet.
Yes, I thought they did.
No, no, they haven't touched him. It was the three. It was D Ford,
Yeah, yeah,
Armstead, and Kittle.
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 Yeah, and so when they did that, they're in no hurry to get rid of Jimmy.
No need to.
No, they're going to sit there because here's the thing: if you get rid of Jimmy today, it drops $25.5 million off the salary cap. If you get rid of him right before, right when you go down to the 53-man roster, still 25.5 million that comes off that cap. So there's no hurry.
I
You
mean,
got plenty of.
he's
Things
on the
happen.
team. He's on the team, right? Has our team got better with the additions that we brought in from last year?
Yes.
And he's on the team. And so what's what's the hurry to get rid of? He's
There's
still on the team,
there's
and our team got better.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know,
And
not worse.
you know what? You want to get that stuff off the books at some point, but
Oh, yeah.
there's no hurry to do it.
But you
It
do want to
really
get
is.
it off.
Yeah. And you
So
don't even
there's
have to get it off. Honestly, you don't have to get it off before the season starts, honestly.
You would like to,
Because
so
but you don't.
so do you
sure,
think there's
sure.
a 0% chance that Jimmy Garoppolo is on San Francisco 49ers as far as week 1?
No, there's not a 0% chance.
There's
But you
always a
know what?
chance.
The first sucker that gets hurt, whether it's in training camp, whether it's in week 1 or 2, they're going to overpay for it.
Remember Sam Bradford?
Oh, yeah, that was terrible. You're talking
You
about
talking
when
about that Minnesota deal?
Teddy Bridgewater got hurt in the preseason.
Because there was a need to overpay. It wasn't that he was worth it.
Yeah.
It was just a need to overpay, and that's maybe what the Niners can do with Jimmy.
My shock is you got teams out there like you can't sit there and tell me that Marcus Mariota is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
But he's
Or
not better than Matt Ryan, so who cares?
Yeah, and he's not. He doesn't get hurt, and he's so.
Yeah,
I think the whole Jimmy with the
That
or
shoulder.
makes
Sam
sense.
Darnold.
Yeah, well, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, well, we agree that he's a good backup. He's probably the best backup
God.
out there, but not at 18 million per year as a backup.
There was some crazy stuff running around about trade Jimmy and a pick to Carolina for Sam Darnold. Well, wait a minute. You're trying to get the money off the books.
Yeah.
25 and a half there, 18 there. So now it's only net gain 7.5, and you got an $18 million a year backup. Yeah, that doesn't add up.
Yeah,
Might as well just keep Jimmy at that point.
I'm telling you, people look at Madden. People look at Madden and like, Madden, you can do it. And if it makes sense there, but it doesn't make sense in real life, man.
You would have thought that it was Madden offseason with all these crazy trades.
70-yard pass. That's Madden. That's not reality.
No. And people get lost in that. People, I know people are just frustrated with the Jimmy situation, but the Niners.
What is there to be frustrated with?
It's just because
they're handling it. They're absolutely handling it.
I agree. They just they think that if Jimmy would have been off the books, that they would have brought in a Chandler Jones. No, they wouldn't.
But they're not.
Exactly.
They weren't doing that. It's like this. That money, when that comes off the books,
Debo.
That's when Debo Samuel and Nick Bosa are going to get their money. Yep. And it wasn't going anywhere else. It wasn't intended for anything else.
Exactly.
So, all those pipe dreams, this free agent and that free agent, they did what they were going to do.
Yep.
I don't, I'm not too far fetched to see a situation like what happened with Kansas City happen with us, to be honest with you.
It won't happen.
I don't.
What are you
even though Debo's
talking about trading Debo, bro, for picks?
Even though Debo is a great receiver, I don't.
That's what I said.
I really don't want us to pay him $30 million a year.
Everybody's trying to get a Debo, and we're trying to get rid of him.
You're going to pay him $30 million a year.
He's going to be about 23.
More than I want to pay him. Yeah, that's for sure. He's definitely.
Thanks, Christian Kirk. Thank you.
That was the one that started.
Well, you can't blame him. He got his money, bro. Hey, go get your money.
No, Trent Ball.
I'm blaming Christian
Trent Ball screwed us.
I'm blaming Trent Baalke.
Thank you. Yeah, and the Jaguar, the owners, yeah.
He screwed us.
Idiot.
Yeah.
$21 million to a third wide receiver who's never showed the ability to actually be a one. Why would you do that?
I would have traded for that kid over there in Cincinnati. Boyd or whatever his name is.
But Boyd wasn't going anywhere.
No, I know. But I'm saying if you're going to pay someone,
pound sand.
Kansas City just paid $12 million for a year for a fourth receiver, basically a number 4 in Scatling. He's not by no means a 1 or 2.
I saw it was 3 years and $30 million. So
yeah, that's crazy.
I thought it was 4. Sorry.
No, it's 3. It's 3 years.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you can get If you can get 21 million as a third receiver, you can obviously get 10 as a fourth, right?
You would think.
That's
You
me.
would think so.
You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Maybe Sherfield will get $10 million in free agency.
Oh, he's already signed. No, not, at least not with
He
us.
said no. He said no.
Wide receiver.
That's going to be Joanne Jennings,
Maybe
bro.
18 million.
That'll be Joanne Jennings next year.
No. He's just like Kendrick. And
We'll see.
did Kendrick
You
get
know what?
that?
This is the thing that I can't say. You know what? When you talk about Kendrick Bourne and you talk about, I mean, what he did last year was very Kendrick Bourne-esque. But the thing you got to look at is look at where he came from year one.
Yes.
He make the team to year two, where he was there showing his physicality in certain spurts, especially late in the year, and then he was ball dropping like Kendrick Bourne. But maybe let's see what he does in year three. Sit back and wait. He's still a young guy. I don't
There's
right
positive
now.
spots.
Yes, let's see where he's going. I don't know, but yeah, the one thing that could really stunt him real well is if we screw around and draft a wide receiver that's better than him. That'll mess him up. Royal.
Yeah, no fault of his own. It's just
You can't grow if you don't play.
yeah, exactly. So you know who's
That's another
who's
thing,
rooting
though.
for no receiver to be drafted? He'll be like, no, get a
Well,
running back.
We're kind of in a position where we could take the best player that's available that could fit our scheme, whether what position it could be. I mean,
No,
we'll just trade. We'll just turn that into like 5 or 6 picks.
You talk about the 61 pick? Come on, bro. I thought I was bad, bro. Really?
I'm just trying to get a rise out of Nate.
mute his microphone.
No,
Like the 34th retarded thing he said. Yeah,
He's your boy.
he
Oh,
is.
man.
But so you have mercy, bro.
Take another sip.
You're right in the middle. Yeah, I know you're gonna make him fill up that glass again. He don't want to fill it up. He just wants that glass.
No, that's all.
But
That's all he's got.
yeah, I think the Niners will go offensive line or defensive line with that 61. I don't see them going anywhere else. Personally,
you got 800 defensive linemen on the team as it is.
I didn't say it would make sense to go there.
Okay.
I'm just saying
Okay.
they might go there.
Okay, let's put it this way. If it's not a speed rusher coming around the end, it's asinine.
No, yeah, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be interior. Uh-oh.
I don't even need an end that just can't burn around that end. If he's not a legitimate force out there, you're wasting a pick.
You froze, Nate.
Oh, it's all right. You still hear me?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have that that pop around that end, and we got guys on the team that are gonna play in front of you, yeah, that's a terrible pick. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that kid from South Carolina that's pretty good. And you know the Niners, how they like to get kids from South Carolina for some reason.
Yeah, but you know what? Just because you get from South Carolina don't mean that if you don't fit. Like, I don't know. First of all, I don't know if that kid's gonna stay till 61. That's a
No, I think he'll go sooner. Yeah, he's pretty good. He fits.
Yeah, but 61, that's a long way.
I like that kid from Arizona, where Brendan and you came. Last name is West. He's a center and guard. Plays guard, plays center. I like him.
He might be around.
Yeah, he might be around. I think that'll be a good option. You can put him at guard, and then when Alex Mack goes, move him over to center if you need to.
Can you? Do we have a guard position that he can win? I don't know what this kid is going to do that we drafted last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Banks.
Yeah, he might be ready to go. I don't know. So you can draft him. We can put up some competition. Maybe he's the future center if you draft him, but nothing wrong with having him as depth anyway, even if he doesn't
Yeah, you can never
Yeah,
go wrong with offensive line, bro. But you know, to your point you made earlier, not today in the show, but just me and you talking, Nate. Um, People are like, you know, yes, we lost Lincoln. I don't care about Compton, but we lost Lincoln. That's kind of a blow. But our offensive line wasn't that bad, and we're getting Mike McClinchy back. We're
yeah.
getting School back. Um, if we add some more pieces during the draft, I don't know why people are panicking so
Yeah,
much in the offensive line, thinking
yeah.
that
Let's put
it's
it this
just trash.
bottom line. The offensive line was pretty good last year, and we only lost one starter from the offensive line. I don't think that's a lot to worry about.
Nope.
Yeah, I think we're good there. I mean, we're going to need to really think ahead when it comes to you know, what are we going to do at center cuz he's no spring chicken. And he's in his latter days as far as an NFL football player. And then you're talking about Mike McGlinchey in a contract year. And the thing is, the way that salaries are escalating, and you know, is he going to price himself out of San Francisco? Because though he's the player that he is like, at what point are you going to say, that's too much for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so
Then you
I
kind
hope.
of look at the players that came in and while he was absent,
yeah.
and say, well, we did draft some players and had to
He
move
was
them around.
He's
Yeah,
no longer there. He's no longer with us.
No,
I thought
Compton's gone.
didn't Moore play one game on the right
Played.
side?
I
No,
don't
left
remember that.
side
On the left
Oh, he did
side
play
when.
left side when Trent
before
Williams was
Trent
gone.
went down.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
yeah.
gonna go back
Compton was
back
an
in.
eyesore though.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I think Jalen Moore may be a potential replacement for Mike McClinchy if he doesn't step up this year in his contract year and he's not worthy of.
Maybe even McKivitz. McKivitz
McKivitz is another one.
played on the right side.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, there's concern when you lose a good player like Lincoln, absolutely. But to freak out and say that Trey Lance is going to be running for his life because of this atrocious offensive line, I'm like, did you forget about Trent Williams and Alex Mack in the middle? And you know,
He didn't have. We had one of the better offensive lines in football. We were definitely ranked in the top 10. I would have to go back and look to know exactly where it was, but there's there's a lot of offensive lines worse than ours, a bunch.
yep,
So no, he's not going to be running for his life.
he might be running, but not for his life. He might be running because he sees available ability to run and extend plays, but it won't be always. I'm not saying that the defenders are not going to get through. I don't care how good your offensive line, you're always going to get those moments where the defensive linemen win. But I like what we have. Where I think the Niners will address. Now we just have to hope that Aaron Banks does able to take that and win that spot at left guard and play well, and we'll be good
Mhm.
there. We can just continue to concentrate on the right side. What's up, Luke
And
Luna?
might not have to do that. You do have two starters returning on the right side, which we didn't struggle. You know, everybody's going to have their moments. Not everybody's a all pro. Not everybody's going to lock it down like Trent Williams.
Yep.
So understand that there's people that are going to be in our backfield from time to time. That's football. I don't care who you had out there, that was going to happen. So, um, you know, McGlinchey is pretty solid. He When he has a blunder, it's a big one.
Yeah, that's only
But
bad. The bad
yeah,
part
when
of
you
it.
In
look at him
moments.
during a game,
But he doesn't have them
pay,
very often, though. That's a good thing.
pay attention to. He'll have one or two plays that you're just like, what the hell happened there? But then when you look at the rest of the game, which you don't pay attention because you're too busy watching the guy with the ball, you know,
Thank you.
uh,
Looking at the receivers, looking at the tight ends.
everything's fine. Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're busy looking at the quarterback, the running backs, the tight ends. You're not paying attention to McGlinchey until he makes some big mistake. Yeah,
Yeah. You got to look at
Usually,
the all 22 to get a real true sense of how
yeah.
they
Well,
play.
you got to pay attention to them. Don't
Oh, true. Yeah.
just pay attention to him when the mistakes made. There were 68 plays in that game, and he made mistakes on 2,
From
and you want to
68.
say,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
what about the other 56? Okay.
Yeah. Um, Alfredo Gutierrez, I think he's still an experimental guy. He's a big guy, big size, but I don't think he might not even make the team, to be honest with you.
Um, he's probably going to be on the practice squad again, from what I'm hearing,
Yeah, yeah.
because that's an international player, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be our international guy again, from what I'm reading.
Yeah.
So he'll
They'll continue to
definitely be.
develop him.
Yeah, I don't know. And you say LB, I do think you meant offensive line. I think you meant.
Let's see.
Yeah,
60,
he's not a
yeah.
linebacker.
He said he was trying to say pounds.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
LB.
332 pounds. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big
I don't know.
boy.
I don't know if he'll make the 53, but
Yeah, me neither.
he's probably going to be on the practice squad.
Wasn't Banks on the heavy side too? As far as what we're accustomed to having on the
Yeah,
offensive
he's
line?
kind of a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a mauler. He's not. Well, he's not your typical protocol guard that we normally draft. That's why when we drafted him, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bigger than the norm.
But big is not always bad if he
I
can
think
move.
they just like the way he can move.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
will see.
I'm excited to see what he can do. I think I'm a little bit more excited to see what Trey Lance can do. Come the start of the season after a full off season.
Yeah, well, they're definitely gonna. And people don't understand. Last year, it was Jimmy, and they were working around Jimmy. They were game planning for Jimmy. They were, the game was Jimmy. This year, they're going to game plan for Trey. They're going to work around Trey. They're going to scheme for Trey. So, and he's having a whole off season. He's going to have OTAs, training camp, but he's another one. We're going to have to wait and see what he has the potential to be great. He has the tools. It's just a matter to see what this kid can do. Only time will tell, and watching him play, we'll find out pretty soon in 2022 if we made the right choice or not. And I don't expect him to be great. I just want him to progress and get better and better and better, which he did show, in my opinion, at least last year, from the game against Arizona to the game against the Texans, and better yet, the second half of that game of the Texans, he improved. And you notice Kyle trusted him a little bit more and opened up the playbook for him, and you saw him produce. I mean, I don't know. I think he's grown. I think he'll be fine. I mean,
I think we need to just wait and see.
He's replacing Jimmy. The bar's not that high.
I was gonna say that not just that, but like you can't just judge him based on one season of play either. So like if he comes in this year and he's just not, some games spark here, some games don't. I think he's just going to get better every time.
People can't say he's going to be an all pro, and people can't say he's going to be a bust.
We're not going to say he's a bust after one season if he doesn't live up to
plenty of
expectations.
people are going to say that.
Oh yeah,
but let me just put this in perspective. They were calling Peyton Manning a bust after his rookie year. How'd that turn out?
Yeah,
threw more interceptions than any rookie in the history of the NFL. Yeah, made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I think there wasn't a play better than him that year. The one that went after him to the Chargers. Leaf.
Stop it.
I was just trying to be nice.
No.
I was trying to
Leaf. I don't know why this sticks in my head. Ryan Leaf only played part of a season. And he had 1 touchdown and 15 interceptions. It sticks in my head. I don't know why. Because it's just so darn atrocious.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. He was nowhere close.
No, I know. Even Peyton Manning at his worst was still better.
What was crazy is I think that preseason before the season even started, everybody was looking at Ryan Leaf like, "Oh my God, he's going to be good," and then he comes out and it's just like a total blunder. Like
that's why you can't go off of preseason. You can watch it and enjoy it, but don't. expect a player to be great just because he looked good against the third and fourth players out there. I like preseason, but I don't sit there and go, "Oh my God, look at this receiver! It's going to blow it." Don't look at me like that. I don't. I get hyped up for a player, but I'm not going to sit there and go, "He's going to be an old pro" either. I know Hurd. I say that because I was like that with Jalen Hurd. But hey,
Yes.
there could have been a possibility he just never played. So
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. I'm just not right.
Oh,
Well, it's a matter of opinion.
fact.
I ain't gonna lie. I was like that with Jared Hayne, but he couldn't hang on to the damn ball. So
Who?
Jared
Really?
Hayne,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who?
yeah,
I probably never. You know what? First of all, I don't watch the preseason because it
He
is
does. Don't believe him.
pretty much meaningless.
all safe, all safe.
So, I mean, nothing really comes of it. In September, when the games start, that's when it matters. There's a lot of crazy, mixed up stuff that happens in the preseason, and the majority of the players that are playing most of the snaps not going to be the ones playing in September. So,
Yeah, true.
yeah, I don't really think much of preseason, and I don't really pay much attention to it.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, that's. I mean, like I said, I enjoy preseason, but I see it for what it is, just entertainment, seeing players' possible potential here and there. But you get the true test in the regular season when they play against top positional players is when you get an idea how a player is going to be. But I think Trey definitely is going to play. I mean, under Kyle Shanahan, under the way Kyle Shanahan puts his quarterbacks in positions to win, I just can't see Trey being. And it's not only Trey though. It's look at the rest of the roster. You're built to win games just with that roster. So we're gonna win just with. And then we're playing in the West. The Seahawks got worse. The Rams, and then
Got
the Cardinals.
worse.
So
Got worse.
yep. So if you
Yeah.
look at
Go
that,
on down the road.
yeah, if you look at that, yeah, we'll win games with Trey. I'm not worried. At least I think Trey will be just fine. And for those that think that Jimmy's going to start this year, you're crazy. Because I've heard that too. Well, you watch Jimmy start. I'm like, no, he's not.
Not gonna happen.
We're gonna put him on special teams.
Yeah, I know.
It's probably, in all likelihood, not going to be on the roster week one.
No.
I seriously doubt it. Yeah, you know, we haven't even got to the draft yet, and people are panicking about him being on the roster. We start in September. It's March. People are panicking about the fact he's on the roster.
But and I'm not saying it's rightfully so, but that's what happens around this time when there's no activity. You know, you want something to happen. I've heard people say they look at Twitter every 5 minutes, like something's going to happen from 5 o'clock, 5 minutes ago to 10 minutes later. I'm like, when it happens, it'll happen. I mean, I'm more concerned about what we're adding and what we're losing than Jimmy. Jimmy's not even worried about it, and fans are worried more than Jimmy. And Jimmy's the one that's leaving. It's just the Niners are still getting better. They brought in a corner, like you said, arguably the second best free agent out there. They brought him in, and they brought key players in special teams. Our special teams just got way better with these players, and some of these players can help as a receiver and as a safety if need to be. And they have Jimmy, and they just restructure a few contracts here. The salary cap is going to go up higher. So even though they kick the can down the line a little bit, and if they have to do it again, they will. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't do it, but they're not going to spend money just because the fan base wants a certain player and they fall in love with a player that gets cut. They know what they're doing. They know the structure they have for this team. It's been. I mean, I don't understand how people complain about John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan when we've been to 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl appearance. How many the Lions don't get to do that, but yet these Niner fans are like, "Oh, fire Lynch." I don't get that, bro.
It's funny. It's funny how
And
when you don't look at any individual game or a partial season or anything as far as that goes. And what really kills me is when people are talking about Niners are 3-5. Fire Kyle Shanahan. Fire John Lynch. Wait a minute. This is what you look at. Grand scheme. First of all, throw out years 1 and 2. They don't even count. That was total rebuilding. It doesn't matter how many games you won or didn't win that year, those years. Year 3, you went to the Super Bowl and lost. Year 4, you tried to break a record for injuries.
Yep.
So you weren't really going to win with that beat up squad. The next year, you're panicking halfway through the season, and then you're in the NFC Championship. So
4 quarters away to make the Super Bowl. Yeah.
When we look at season by season, let's look at the totality. You've got 2 seasons of relative health and 2 NFC Championship appearances. You had 1 injured year in before. I'm not even giving credit for those first 2 years. He rebuilt a team. You had, what was it? Did we talked about this? Was it 8 players when that 2019 team started? There were 8 players left from who were there when Lynch and Shanahan first took over, right?
Yep.
And I know the turnover from the first season was 26 players, which
well,
you do the math.
That's half, right?
Half the roster. That's half just in the first year.
And then the next year, you killed a bunch more, and you were down to 8 by year 3, beginning of year 3.
Yep.
And there ain't too many of those guys left. There's only like 3 right now. With Mostert leaving, all you've got is Jimmy Ward. Tart is leaving, it looks like. So take that one away. So it's just Jimmy Ward and Eric Armstead. That's it. Those are the only 2 players on the roster right now that were there when they first got here. It's only 5 years ago.
Yeah. And to your point, very valid point. The first 2 years, you got to throw it out the window because they had to redo. I mean, they got rid of almost everybody. And I think they only kept like maybe 2 to 3 players from the old regime.
Like I said, it was 8.
8, okay.
Total of 8 that were on that Super Bowl team.
From the Super Bowl. But I'm talking about when they took it over. Year 1.
Yeah.
It was 8?
Yeah. Super Bowl team had 8 of those players left. And
that's crazy.
Some of them left in. And so
this is why
they weren't all major contributors either. Some of them were.
Correct. This is why you can't compare people. Like I hate the comparison between him and Sean McVay over there with the Rams. He didn't take a team like Kyle did with the Niners. 2 different situations. Yeah.
He was ready made.
I'm not saying that he's not a good coach. I'm just saying it's not fair to compare him with all these winning seasons and not Lynch. He didn't start off in the same spot Lynch did. And people forget it's not easy to get to the NFC Championship or a Super Bowl. Regardless if you don't win it, it's not easy to get there. One championship, we won it and we moved on. One we lost. So, I mean, like I said, Detroit, you got a lot of teams out there that will give anything to get to his NFC Championship.
I don't want to be compared to Detroit.
I know. Detroit was a bad illustration.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of another team.
Well, no. Compare us to the
comment that
stick with that. Look at the last 3 years.
Like these,
since we've been a legitimate team, not when he built the team. The first 2 years, the Rams had a team too. But let's look at those 3. I mean, has McVay outshined Kyle Shanahan in those 3 years?
Nope.
No. And as a matter of fact, finally beat him, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
6-1.
No, he's beat him before.
No, well, not in those 3 years. He didn't.
No, but he beat him. I mean, he's beat him since he's been with the Niners.
2 years when he didn't have a team.
Yeah,
I told you.
They don't count. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, good for you. They won 3 out of 4 in that time, and then they lost every one until that NFC Championship after that.
Just like I'm going to tell Niner fans, enjoy the wins against the Seahawks if we get them, but you can't sit there and we're dominant because they lost everybody.
Whether they win or not, who cares?
No, I know.
Even then, even last year, like
we want to. You want to know who had some real problems with the Seahawks had problems with the Rams. The Seahawks were winning Super Bowls, losing to the Rams twice.
Yep.
You think they care they lost to the Rams?
Nope.
And when the Seahawks are at home, when we're in the playoffs, I don't care about losing to the Seahawks. So what? It'd be nice to beat them, but if we're in the playoffs and we're doing what we're doing, and they're at home watching us in the playoffs, those games don't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Niners, in my opinion, got better. They much better special teams. They shored up the secondary. They're going to work. They're going to work on the offensive line. They have a plan. It's amazing. The Niners come with brick by brick, right? And I hear all these Niner fans, yeah, brick by brick. We're going to build this team brick by brick, and then things don't go a certain way, or a certain player doesn't get signed that they want. Forget the brick by brick. They want to implode everything.
Yeah.
It's
Hold
like,
on. Yeah.
that's
But here's the
crazy.
thing. And you wonder why the general public glossed us 40 whiners. You wonder
Yeah,
why.
it's sad, but rightfully so.
That is an earned term. That was earned. That wasn't something they just made up because. No. Our fans are a bunch of big whiners, a lot of them, because they don't pay attention to the big picture. And 3-5 is not the big picture. 10-7, an NFC championship is the big picture. Don't start breaking it down. It's not play by play and week by week. Yeah.
It's the whole totality of the whole 17 game season, not at 3-5. Imagine if they would have fired Lynch and Kyle at 3-5. I don't think we would have been in the NFC Championship. Give it that we didn't get past the Rams, but you know what? You get there, and anything can happen. Anything can happen in that game. So Sean McVay and the Rams played a better game, and and rightfully they went to the Super Bowl and did their thing. But it just still doesn't mean they're a better team than us. They just had a better day, in my opinion.
Yeah, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, you got to have it when you got to have it. And
yeah, when it counts.
Yeah, the fact that we didn't.
Well, look at the Green Bay Packers. They beat us in the regular season. All the Packer fans are like, yeah, Niners suck and blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
I think we own them in the playoffs. Last 4 games.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers has ever beat the Niners in the playoffs, and I think it is 4 times he's played.
4 times. Yeah, 2 in the old regime and 2 in this team, with this regime.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, and 2 different coaches, 2 different teams, and he still lose to us.
Harbaugh and Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a completely different team. It's not even the same team. And yet, it doesn't matter. It's like the NFC Championship game matters. It would have been nice to moved on. I think we could have beaten Cincinnati, but that's neither here or there. We didn't show up. So it was the Rams. The Rams won. The what if doesn't work. But
who expected the Niners to be in the NFC Championship this year?
If you're being honest with yourself, nobody.
Did you believe that? I sure didn't.
No.
I said one and done in the playoffs.
I didn't say one and done. I said we would win one. Yeah, and I didn't think we would win the division. We could have won the division.
Those 3 special team plays.
That was the difference.
Yep.
Because had we done that, we would have won the division. If we won the division, it's a different ball game. We might have got over.
Yep.
Now you only have to play 1 playoff game to get to the NFC Championship instead of 2. And
we won 2. So
yeah.
I mean, it's, like I said, it's not neither here or there, but it is what it is. But when you play at home and you get a bye, it doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't.
Unless you're the Packers and you got a bye and you come back and get your butt kicked. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. They didn't get their butt kicked.
Yeah. And they actually won the first game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers couldn't do nothing against that deep. I mean, they went down the first play and they all the way for a touchdown. And then the D'Amico Ryans and everybody just tying it up. And
I'm sorry. The Packers were the 1 seed, huh?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they were
Yeah.
one and done. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
win
they
anything.
were one and done.
Yeah, they were one and done. Yeah.
Cowboys were one and done. Yep. And the Packers were one, and they came off the seat of the high seed. Yeah, they had to
And,
buy.
it's that other that Boston South team. Yeah, they were one and done too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Now, although I don't know about you guys, and it's neither here or there, but I would have rather play Boston. I mean, excuse me. Now you got me saying Boston. I'd
Same
rather
thing.
play Boston South
Same
in
thing.
that playoff game than playing the Rams at their time.
No,
You don't think so?
no. Get those Bostonians out of there
Wait,
as soon as possible.
well, let me ask.
It's
Eric
possible.
might think different. You just don't
Yeah.
like Bostonians.
They get them Bostonians.
Oh
out
my
of here.
god.
Hey, by the
I
way,
thought
Jimmy's the last
I wanted
one.
to.
I just want to point that out. Jimmy's the last one. We can
Well,
get Boston.
wait. The
soon as we
free
get rid of-
agency's not over yet.
Well, we're not going to get any more free agency. I'm worried about the draft. I'm worried about the draft.
Somebody get John
The day
Lynch
before
on
the draft, they signed a free agent from Boston.
We
And they're
draft
like,
somebody from
Nathaniel,
Boston.
this is for you.
Why? We got
Draft
rid of
somebody
the
from
coach.
Boston
We got
College.
rid of the little Boston coach. We sent him out packing. Got rid of all the Boston players except Jimmy, and all we had to do is get rid of him.
There's that offense. The offensive lineman from Boston College is pretty good. That I might bring in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And if he was around, you probably got to take him.
Yeah. But I hear you, bro. I hear you. I like what the Niners are doing so far, bro. I think people just have to be patient with the 49ers and what they're doing and understand that it's not always about bringing in big players, just bringing players that fit.
Do we have is this a Raider fan in the
Who?
chat? What is that?
The guy with the island something?
Yeah, what is that?
They have no plans
Island
for
Rider.
offensive line.
Oh. Yeah, actually, they do.
Yeah.
I don't know where you come up with that, but yeah, they did.
They drafted
And they-
Aaron Banks. They drafted, yeah.
Plan. As a matter of fact, you know what? A lot of things didn't go according to plan last year.
But it doesn't mean they don't have one. It just didn't go according to plan.
If you look at what they really wanted to do, none of those rookies would have played.
Oh,
Everybody who drafted last year, not one of them would have played if it wasn't for injury.
yeah. Elijah Mitchell being a
Yeah,
6th round pick would not have played for sure. If Raheem Mostert.
If you had Mostert and Jeff Wilson healthy, he would have never.
I'm glad he played. Don't get me wrong.
Thomas and Lenore, injuries
Definitely.
got them in there.
If Verrett doesn't go down, yeah.
Yeah. All those dudes that played that were rookies, all injury. If it wasn't for injury, they would have tried to sit them all. I don't know what Kyle's problem is with these rookies.
He doesn't trust rookies unless he
You don't
has to.
Trust them. When you have Josh Norman, you trust anybody.
No, well,
I mean, I don't even understand that. Just throw him out there. Can't do no worse.
yeah. And, I mean, anybody can grab, right?
I could do that.
Yep. Anybody
They
can
pay
grab.
Josh Norman. I'll take his money. I can grab just as good as he can.
Yeah. And people loved him because the way he played when he was with the Panthers. He wasn't the young Josh Norman. And just like Gilmore, I'm not saying he's bad or gonna be bad. He'll probably be signed somewhere. But if we had to choose between Ward and Gilmore and the money, definitely give it to Ward.
It's 31-year-old and a 26-year-old. 31-year-old corners have a tendency to fall off a cliff. It's
And this
like,
guy's barely going
he
up
was
the
still-
hill.
He was still pretty good last year, but he wasn't the all-pro Stephon Gilmore that we knew. And is it going to be any better next year? Yeah, I don't know.
He'll be decent, but
I think that we did the right thing. This kid doesn't really give up space. He makes it tough for you to complete passes because he is always close. He
no separation. I love it.
Separate, and that's probably your best bet, in might have actually been a better choice than the guy they were probably really going after.
You know what I see the Niners doing too in certain packages, Nate and Eric, is playing Ward and Avery Thomas on the outside and bringing Emmanuel Mosley in the inside, kind of like what they did in 2019. Don't be flipping those lips at me, bro.
Like they did in 2019. They didn't do that in 2019.
They brought Mosley in the middle,
Very rarely.
but they did though.
What you really want to think about is when they had Carlos Rogers, and Carlos Rogers was a starter along with Terrell Brown.
They did that a lot with him too, yeah.
That Chris Culliver came in the game. Carlos Rogers went to the slot.
To the slot, yeah.
Yeah, that was a regular thing. Mosley was even kind of a back and forth starter in general. I mean, damn, Akella Weatherspoon started the first part of the season that year anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Mosley
Carlos
did
Rogers,
start,
you're right. He did that for the most part, but I was talking about Mosley because he's on the roster and he's potentially going to be able to do that this year. That's why I brought his name.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. They don't have anybody else.
But you're right about Carlos Rogers. That's when they brought in what's his name? They put him Carver. Yeah. They put him in the middle, and that was a good plan.
Yeah, well, it worked. I mean, and it's probably best that they do that. And speaking of which, where did our slot corner go? Did he go to Denver?
Yes.
Okay.
Denver.
Yeah, so
we sent a corner today too, by the way. And he's a slot. I know.
Practice squad.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah, I hear
you. But when we play Denver, slot fade all day, right?
Oh yeah, that's
we already know what works. We already know what works.
Yep.
Get in the slot, run that.
Put a uke right there.
2 steps right at him and just fade to the sideline and just throw it up.
Yep, him or Kittle. Kittle's gonna be licking his chops.
Not gonna get them matched up.
Yeah, I know.
They're not gonna get Kittle on that little guy. If they do, it's not gonna happen much.
No,
Time or two, they might get lucky. They'll probably help.
It's probably going to be more a uke if anything else. But
Kittle had his best game against Denver, so yeah.
But we know that K'Wan Williams, even though he's okay and he's lost a step, that fade, bro, it's like
tore up all year. It was just easy money. I watched like about 7 different receivers.
I know, bro. It wasn't fun.
Yeah. It was easy money too. And you know what? Who was the one that did it last in that damn NFC Championship game? Cooper Kupp got it.
Yeah. Well, they knew. Yeah, they were saving. Yeah. When I seen that, I'm like, no. Well, that's what I was saying during the game. Oh, don't put him in that position. But I knew that they were going to do that, and it was going to work. So when people say we lost him, and oh my God, what are we going to do? He's not the same guy as before. Age is getting to him. So I'm okay with letting him go. 2 years ago, I would have been concerned. Not this time around. I think the Niners will be fine, and they'll work around it. Luke says, the same fans crying about not going for Gilmore are the same ones that would say fire Lynch and Kyle over paying for aging vet when he got injured. But it's fire Lynch since he didn't do that. Yeah, and the whole thing right now, the whole thing they want to fire Lynch is because of the Jimmy G. That's the thing right now. They made a mistake in not trading. This is the thing that people are saying. That Niners should have traded him last year.
All right, that's
asinine. I hear you.
Wrong. Yeah. But the thing is, it wasn't like people were beating down the door to get him. There was one team that came calling. And then what did they do? They went and drafted a quarterback in the first round anyway.
Yep.
So, yeah, and I'm sure they're fine with that because he played about as good as Jimmy as a rookie. So it's like his trajectory is probably going up. But at least right now, he's already about as good as Jimmy.
Mac Jones, he's all right.
Yeah.
He's all right. But anyway, it's getting late. Let's go ahead and shut this down. Anything else you want to say? Because I promised the wife to watch a movie, and I'm already past my wife duties. But anybody want to say anything before we close shop?
No.
Nate? Eric?
Not really.
No. All right. Well, it was good seeing you, E-Man, back on camera. getting you off the phone and putting you on camera, man. It was nice having you on there. Looking forward to doing more shows with you on there, brother. I know you work a lot of crazy hours, and you got to take care of the family, bro. So we understand that. And to all the viewers that stepped in tonight, Luke, Luna, David, and everyone, Tom, that's a mad. I always say I'm not going to call out names, and I still do it. Bad habit. But if I missed out your name, you know who you are. Truly appreciate you guys showing up to the NWA. We were in hiatus a little bit, but we'll see how it goes next week. But the finger.
There is something I want to say. There's a couple of you that have a tendency every once in a blue moon to hit me up on the Facebook DMs. Feel free to do that. I don't mind. Because I know that Tom has done it on occasion. Corey does it on occasion. And I don't see him in here, but man, all the time. Eric Paz, yeah, constantly.
I ain't seen Eric Pause in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen him either.
Yeah, I just talked to him yesterday.
He DMs you a lot. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, that's cool. Well, thank you for letting them know that they can reach out that way. Just don't post anything crazy, ludicrous on the NWA pay group because it won't get approved.
Yeah, it'll never make it. So
So fair warning. Yeah. If you're talking about trading Jimmy for 2 7s, it probably won't make it. So just to let you know. All right, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in to the NWA podcast. Once again, E-Man, Boston Hater, and our boy Florida Mike, who's enjoying the Florida weather right now with his family. Always part of our family here on the NWA. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your weekend. And remember, tell a loved one that you love them because life is never promised to no one. All right, guys. We're out of here. Peace.